All right, guys, here we are. We're week 10 into our 12-week SketchUp live stream series to show you how to really take advantage of the power of a connected ecosystem, being able to use SketchUp with Trimble Forensics Reveal to get more out of your software purchase. So, my name is Chris Lutz. I'm your host for the webinar series, and this week we are covering modeling buildings. So we're taking a page off of what we had last week, where we're building an internal room, or building a room, or building the inside of something using nothing but photos. Now, normally we'd have, a laser scanner. We would have something else there to help us out. But in this case, what if you don't have a laser scanner, right? What if all we have is maybe some crime scene photos, or maybe this is an old case, right? Maybe this is a cold case. Maybe this is just, hey, we need to get this. We didn't plan on this being here, this house or this structure being important, but now it is. So how do we take just some photographs and how do we create that model where there would be nothing otherwise? So that's what we're covering today, is we're going outside. Last week we did inside modeling, so modeling the inside of a room or a crime scene. This week we're going outside. How do we model from the outside? So those of you that may have missed our previous episodes, let me throw this up here. You can find us right here on our YouTube channel. And if you should see the URL at the bottom of the youtube.com/@Trimble Forensics Media. And as you if you go to the live tab, you'll be able to see our lives that we've done before. And I was talking about this one last week, doing crime scene models from photos. That's that one. One of the ones that's been a big one for us, quite a few views on it, is SketchUp for the iPad. So doing a crime scene scan with an iPad and then taking that into Trimble Forensics Reveal. So that one was really popular. And we've got a bunch of others in our series. So if you missed any part of our live stream series, you can definitely check us out on YouTube to go back and review those and follow along if need be. Okay, now that we have that one, have that out of the way. So again, if you need to go back or if something else there interests you, definitely go back and do it. So this week we're doing modeling outside. If we get time, we'll do the neighborhood. But I'm just going to show you guys how to model a house, basically, or model a single structure. And if we get time, we'll do a couple of them. How to model this and then place it on a map and be able to show this off as a photo, as a actual model. So where we're going with this, let me transition over here. There we go. So what I've done here is I've brought in a satellite photo, and what I've done is I've modeled these houses in 3D. Now, some of them have a little bit more detail than others, such as this one here. This was modeled using 2 photographs. And I realize that this is kind of smeared out here. It's not complete by any means. Didn't get the roof done. I didn't get some of the other things done. The rest of these are pretty much done except for the roof line. And I just ran out of time. I spent about 45 minutes just quick modeling this neighborhood out of some photographs I have. But this is the one we are going to be working with today. So this one I modeled using 2 photographs. Okay, just two photographs, nothing fancy here. And this can be done either from the ground using a DSLR or, really any good quality camera. I shouldn't even say good quality. Really any camera is capable. There are some that are better than others, but you can do this also if you're flying a UAV in the neighborhood and, you're canvassing the neighborhood with a UAV. You could bring your drone, say, to about this position here, and take a photograph, and then you would move your drone over to this position, maybe right here, and take a photograph. And from those 2 photographs, you can model this building or model this house. And this is photo textured here. This isn't a point cloud, okay? And one of the things we get is, point clouds are really grainy and gritty. This was photo modeled. So we have a photographic texture that's been placed on this so that it looks real. Okay, it looks real. This isn't a grainy, gritty, what am I looking at? This is pretty darn easy to tell what this is, what the house is, where the windows were. If we had a witness in this house and they said, we asked the witness, what window were you standing in? Well, the one here on the left. It's pretty darn easy to relate where the witness was standing, and then also to be able to look out at the rest of the neighborhood from that window. So if we had a car that was on the street, something like that. And this is something that I really enjoy doing, is photo modeling, in case you haven't noticed. I find this to be just really, really, really cool. And I doubt we're going to get time, but this is a way that you build a neighborhood. So you take photographs of these, and then we build them out and then place them onto our satellite image that is geo-referenced as well. So we wanted to see, what shadows are being cast at any time of the day, depending on which time of the year it is. We can change all of that inside of SketchUp. So I find this to be really cool, and this is going to be just modeling from photos. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get in here and let's get at it. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll save it. Okay, I started off a new project here inside of SketchUp, and we have our scale model here. I'll just leave her be as it is. Now, on the right side, I've got my tray here that is on Match Photo. Now, before I start matching photos, I like to do a couple things to set myself up. The first one is in my styles. And you can see our axis here. It's red, it's green. It tells us our accents and our origin. Now, when we draw a line, let's say I draw here to here, that one's black and that one's black. So even though this one is on the red axis, this one is on the green, it's just black, all right? And it doesn't necessarily help me. So one of the things I like to do is go into my styles, edit, and in my color, I color it by axis. And when I'm photo modeling, this really helps me to just keep track of what axis I'm drawing in, whether it's red, green, or blue. That then allows me to know which axis I'm drawing in and which one that I'm working on. So here's our origin point. Let's work on getting our photo model. Sorry, I'm gonna make you go away. Okay. So in my default tray, if you don't see Match Photo here, you can go to your window default tray, and you can turn on the Match Photo bar. That brings it in here. So I'm going to match a photo. So what I'm going to do is go to my desktop. I've got a folder in here called Neighborhood. Now what I did is I just went down the neighborhood, picked some neighborhood at random, and just started taking photos from the sidewalk. So didn't have to get a warrant, didn't have to go get any of that warrant wise. Did all of this from the sidewalk. And if you were using a UAV flying down the street, you could do the same darn thing if you wanted to model something. Okay, these two images here are the house I want. So I'm going to start with image 2364 and hit open. Now this begins the photo modeling process. So I need to find a point that is pretty easily picked, that is going to be on one of our planes. So I'm going to drag that out of the way here. So I'm going to use this one right here. So this plane that I'm picking up, this is the same plane that's going to be on this, I guess this area. Actually, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to come up to here just because I have siding that I'm going to deal with. So I'm going to make this corner my corner. Now that's going to run down this side and run down this side. This is bumped in just a little bit. All right. Next, I'm going to pick my sight lines or my vanishing point. So I'm just going to drag those over and just rough place them where I want them to go. I'll just use the siding on this one. Now what you want to do here is make sure, if you tuned in last week, you saw how this works. But what you want is long, straight lines to define the vanishing point. Let's use maybe that one right there. And again, this is rough placement only. All right, next I'll zoom in and I will put it here. As a good friend of mine, he's a flight instructor, and he's got a saying here that perfection will be the standard. So today, perfection will be the standard. Put that one here. This one right up here. Oh, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Really zoomed in. Now, of course, we're dealing with a JPEG image that does have a little bit of artifacting going on due to compression. All right, let's do this one. Now, if you're like me and you have a house that, maybe the contractor didn't do the best job with siding, this might not be the best way to go about this, but on this one, I am going to use these. So I have another line here. I'm going to use the top of the doorway for this one. I'm only going to go part way because I don't... Actually, I'm going to use this door because it's longer. I don't trust that they got the door level all the way across, so I'm just going to use this one. And we'll just move it out a bit. And this is our first one, so getting it right really, really matters. Because everything we do is now tied to this one, so I may need to make a tiny adjustment here on the bottom one by the look of it. Yes, I need to bring that one down just a touch. I may have been a couple pixels off. There we go. So now that's going across, that is level, that's vertical with this seam, or darn close to it. And I will take that one as good. Okay, next is our scale. So one of the things I neglected to do here is, and I'm going to change this here in a minute. Actually, I'm going to edit it now. So my grid here, these garage doors, or these doors, are roughly about 7 feet or so. So I'm going to do maybe a 1 foot grid. I'm going to get it close. Now I'm going to resize this here in a little bit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a few too many, so I need to... Here. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7. We'll put it right about there. It's close. I'm going to make a small change to this here in a little bit. But we should be pretty darn close. Okay, from here, what I'm going to do is begin drawing some planes. So this one, you can see here, it's now on the green plane, meaning it is going to go the correct way. Now, this is going to draw it on the blue axis, so it'll go up. I'm going to hit my left key here to make it green. I'm going to start at my origin. It's going to come up here, and I'm going to draw this front area. And I may have to zoom up. I may have to change this just a touch when I get at it. Yeah, I like it. All right, I got that one. The next thing I need to do is draw this over. I'm going to come over to that spot on the green axis. So right over to that corner. Then I'll go down. I'll go down about to the grass line or so. And I'm going to lock this to my green axis till I get to about here. And I may have to change this just a touch. Nope, maybe not. All I'm doing here is I'm just drawing lines to get kinda close. Next thing I'll do is I'll come across to here, constrain it to that point, and then come down. There we go. Now, to see what just happened, I'm just going to rotate. And now I've got my upper portion, lower portion, and my garage door. Cool. Now, to get back in my scenes, I just double click. And I'm back. Cool. All right, let's work on this plane. So I want this one to be on the green axis again. I'm going to inference that and just go across. Go all the way across to there. I'll just close that in. Oh, yeah. All right, so that's the front brick face. Oop. Just need to stay here. Okay, so that's our front brick face. Now, there are some areas here that need to be changed just a touch. Because again, this is the brick. This isn't the siding itself. So the siding goes in just a touch. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to come down to here. And I'm going to use the push-pull tool to then push-pull that back. So I'm going to hit P here, and then I will recess that to where the siding starts. Yeah, you keep hitting that shift button, and I don't want to. I want to just zoom out and zoom back in. Okay, and next I'm going to make the opening for the door. I'll just click on that face. And there's a little bit of a problem here in that I can't see the other one. So I'm going to do this in 3D. What I want to do is, I'm just going to use the offset tool here. And I'm going to offset this 1.5 inches, enter. That'll give me my left and right, so that'll get this hidden portion. Then I'm going to take this one here and hit M to move it down. And I'm going to move it down on that axis, constrain the line. I like it. And then from here, I will just select that, hit P to push-pull it. We'll go back to the door. Minty. So now, when we look at it, yeah, there's our door. All right, one of the things I need to do here is just move that down so that it's level. There we go. So now we have the recess for our door. Now, currently, this is our garage door height here needs to be 7 feet. So that's 7'7". Not quite. So what I need to do here is just make a line. I need to drop this whole thing down to 7 foot so that I can scale this correctly. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to go up to 7 foot. Okay. So I'm going to resize this just a touch. And let's hit my settings here. Resize this so that my door... You know what? I screwed this up. I should have started from here. You know what? We're 20 minutes in and we still have time. This is just going to be easier if I start over. Sorry, guys. I did not have my coffee today. I want to delete that image, and I want to take that, my scale it down. There we go. So now we're at 7 foot. All right, let's match our image again. I'm going to match my photo. And I should have done this from the beginning, guys. I apologize. There we go. We'll do the same thing again. I guess I could have kept my old one and just scaled it and repositioned it too. Like I said, I'm running on empty this morning. The caffeine did not do what it was supposed to do. If I could get a refund on it, I would. I'm just gonna come down here. There we go. I like it, and we're lined back up. All right, now we'll just scale her up. And position it where it's supposed to be. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to set the origin point. That's what I did. Okay, there we go. We're back in business. All right, now we are scaled to 1 foot. Everything's lining up. Let's continue on. So we have this opening right here. Again, we need to make a hole. Now, I can't really see what's in here, so I'm going to just put a guideline in so I can find that. There we go. Next, I'll come up to here, make sure that one's lined up. Beautimous. All right, let's take this and we will just pull it back to our siding edge. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll just do an offset of 1.5 inches, which is roughly the width of this trim. I'll move this one down to right about there. I like it. And I will just, there we go. And now I'll just pull that back so it lines up. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. I'm going to draw a couple guides, and these are going to be nothing but guides. You may have seen me do this on the indoor one, but this allows me to, from here, line up these windows and, again, use them as guides. Now, one thing I don't want to do is use this back corner as a guide. And the reason is that the further away we get, the slightest movement affects the scale pretty significantly. So over in here, if I make a change or a movement over here, it's going to really extend that building out. The area where we're most accurate is right over in here. Okay, we're 30 minutes in. Here in a little bit, I'll come back and do the roof line later. But it looks like that just extends right over to there. Yeah, looks good. So I have a choice here. Something that I can do. How do I want to attack this? I think what I might do, I think I'm going to draw this in. I think I'm going to continue this on out, just as a guide, if nothing more. And I want to make a, you know what? I want to make a guide here, because I want this line, I'll use this as a guideline all the way across. So I have a few options. One is that I could draw this rectangle and then pull it out. Another, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Because I've kind of got that gutter hiding me there. I'm just going to pull that out. There we go. So these two should, or not this one anyway. That brick. I think here's that brick goes here. Nope. I needed to. That's not what I wanted to do. So right now, this one, I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to hit M to move that out, and I'm going to move it on the green axis. I'm going to constrain it here. There we go. So that should be on the same plane. Now I move. I want to move it on my red axis and move it here. Resize this one. And down to there. Bring that one down as well. Put that on the same axis as that. Looks good. All right. Now I kind of have this area in here. So for all intents and purposes, this side is done. Now, there's not much ambiguity here on the where that drop is, but I don't see it right here. I got it here, but not here. So let's match a new photo here. So I'm going to jump out, and I need to find something that's in the next one. Let me find my... Oh, nope. That isn't what I wanted to do. Oh. Not good. All right. I want to look at my other photograph here. So let's go to my desktop, and we're 30 minutes in, and I've messed around too long. All right, let's go to my neighborhood. Get it up here, and I want to look at this photograph right here. And it looks like that corner where that stops, that's a good spot to pick, because I want something that's visible in both photographs, and that corner is going to be a good one. I like it. All right, now that we're out in our model, I'm going to reset my origin point to be that corner. There we go. I've reset my reset it. So from here, I'll just hit plus, and we're going to add a new matched photo, and I'm going to scroll down to the one that I like. There we go. Image 2365. Now, all of these, I just took 2 photographs. Nothing more, just 2 pictures of each one. Now, if I had multiple photographs, that would probably work just a wee bit better. But it is what it is. Okay, the green axis here goes this way, so I need to or at least set the vanishing point. There we go. Same thing up here. Again, if you don't trust this, if you're seeing things that are really wonky in the siding, you may not want to use siding. You may want to use a door or a window. Typically, doors and windows are usually just a little bit more parallel with one another in real life than others. But if it's like this, the windows and doors are kind of short. It may not be the best thing to use windows and doors. On this one, I'm going to use the top of the garage door as one of them. You can kind of see it through there. I want to get as long as possible. And this JPEG compression isn't helping matters. I'll come up here and I may do the edge of the soffit. I want to extend that on out. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now we just need to scale it, so I'll scale it down. so that things fit where they are supposed to fit. We need to make a tiny adjustment here. You can see our windows came out really, really close to where they're supposed to be. Something here, here. My doors came out, everything's coming out just swimmingly. You know, I've missed that. You know, we don't say swimmingly anymore. I think we need to bring that back. Swimmingly. This is going swimmingly. Okay, if you are a big fan of swimmingly, put her in the comments. Let me know if we need to bring back swimmingly or not. I think we do. All right, so let's bring that down. I'm going to drop this one. Oop. Control Z that. So I'm only moving this bottom one, and I hit the up arrow, so I'm only sliding it vertically. And I'm just going to bring this down to right about here, so right about the dirt line. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now we just need to model this side. So I'm going to get a rectangle here, and I'm going to put it on the green axis, or I'm sorry, on the red plane. And I'm just going to bring that out and up. I'm just going to go up right about here. I'm going to make a change to it here in a little bit. Get up to right about there. Ish. I'm looking for is that side, that side. Yeah, right about there. All right. What I also want to do is I want to bring that up. I want to make sure that these two are on the same level. So I'm going to move this one right here. So I'll select that, hit M. And on the blue axis, I'm going to hit Shift here, and I'm going to inference that side. So now both of these are on the same level, basically, because they are the same feature on both sides. So let's jump back in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm liking it. Okay, next we have this little bump out here, or bump in, I should, bump in, bump out. Just bumping everywhere. So we'll hit that. Now, some of you may be saying, well, it doesn't line up here. Well, yeah, you're right, because we have a brick facade, and the siding isn't as thick as that brick facade. Which is just fine. I'm okay with that. It's okay. So what we will do here, we're just going to draw another square, or rectangle, I should say. We're going to constrain it on plane. We're going to go about like this. Don't worry if it doesn't fit. It's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push-pull that back. Gotta delete that front face. There we go. I'm going to slide that so that it is in that corner, right about there. And then I'll just take that and move it up so that matches there. Now, don't worry about that. We'll just make that little guy. I wouldn't worry about that little guy. All right. So from here, I've got an edge right about there. And that roofing goes over on the other side. So I'm just going to go about like that. I'm going to run roughly parallel to it out to about here-ish. Should be about where the shingles end. There we go. Next, I'll run up. Would you look at that edge? Just about makes it. You know what? I'm going to violate one of my own rules here by putting geometry very close to one another. All right, where did that go? Oh, I drew it on the wrong plane. dummy. All right, this might just be easier coming out. So we've got a plane here. This is just going to be easier doing this out. So I'm going to draw this on the z-axis. Draw it out. I'm going to inference that. Nope, I'm not going to inference that. All right, plan D. I'm just going to go out on the green axis, over to here, on the red axis to about here, green axis to there. Next, I'll jump into 3D, and we'll just go back to here, and over to here. Minty. All right, next what we'll do is we'll push-pull that up right about there. So go up 7 inches is what it looks like. And from there, we'll just throw that back right about there. PFM. All right, let's take this, and I'll hit M and Control, and I'll move that over. So that is there. Take that point to that point. And would you look at that? I'm going to reverse the face there. I'm going to reverse that face. I'm going to tidy this up just a touch. Okay, making sure everything is nice and tidy. I'm going to bring that out. I'm going to bring this out. Oh, yeah. I'm liking that. Next, what I need to do is close that in or box that in. Looking good. And then I will do the same thing here. Lastly, what I'll do, clean that up. We have some nice clean geometry. Beautiful. I like it. All right. Now that we got that done, let's just finish up with our doorway here. So we've got an edge here. It appears to be that one. So I'll just run that right across on the red axis over to here. We'll get into 3D. Sometimes these things are good to do in 3D. Just so you got them. Oh, yeah. So I'll reverse the faces, just so we're seeing the front face and not the back face. I like it. I like it. Okay, we got those modeled. Let's jump back in. We've got a fence back here. Now, one of the things that I see here on these fences, well, wait a minute. Let's just take all of that, and I'm going to make that a group, just so I can't accidentally muck it up. Now, on fences, if we want to be able to draw a fence, this gets a little tricky. If you hang it out here in space, it's either going to be on the red axis or the green axis. Drawing these things at an angle is, well, you're going to have a bad time. So what I like to do is I like to place things on planes. So I'm going to find this up here on this plane. I'm going to draw my plane down to the bottom corner. We have a fence. Let's jump back in. And then what I do is I trim this just a touch there. I'm going to hit M, Control, and that's going to make a copy of this. Let's bring that down to here. And from there, I just delete that. Delete this and delete this. Okay, to give you all a little bit of a teaser, you may be going, oh God, why am I watching this? Oh God, this is, we're just drawing lines. Can we just make this look nice, please? Please, can we just make this look nice? So here comes a bit of the juice. Okay, because we are modeling on, well, we're in a 3D model space, and we know this geometry is roughly where it should be. The photograph should be able to project onto it. So what we do is we select a surface. Now, when I click here, you see that turn just that light blue color. I can right click and say project photo. But Chris, it didn't do anything. Well, yeah, it kind of did. So we now have that photo projected onto that surface. So when we started, you were seeing all the eye candy. That's what we're doing here is we're doing projection onto these surfaces. Now, keep in mind when we do this, any like landscaping, that will be projected onto this surface. So even though this landscaping is in front, if I select this model, get down in here, and I say right click and project photo, keep in mind the landscaping is going to go with it, even though the landscaping technically is sitting out here and it's not on that flat surface. Just keep that in mind. Also things like gutters. Okay, that gutter is now being projected onto that flat surface, even though it's actually in front of the surface. So keep that in mind as we move along here. Okay, I am going to... You know what? This is a good time to explain on the photo projection. So while we're here, we can do things with this. So if I want to take, I don't know, if I want to make these shutters more of a three-dimensional object, what I can do, I need to make sure I'm in here, I can take and I can draw something on this surface for the shutters. Oop. Control Z. I wasn't in the group, so I need to double click. Now I'm in the group that I can start editing. All right. I can take this and take a 2D projection. I'm going to go a little bit on the outside of it. And I could hit P to push pull and push pull this out. There we go. P, push pull. I can push pull this out, I don't know, about an inch. There we go. And now that's an inch. Now around the side, what I can do is I can, in my materials, you know what, let's just add a new material here, and we'll call this one shutter side. I'll hit OK. Now on the shutter side, I want to pick a color from my screen. I'm going to pick that one right there. It's kind of dark blue color. And then what I'm going to do is take this projection that kind of got smeared out a little bit, and I'll just recolor that on the side. So now I'm just going to go to my styles here, and I'm going to turn this off so you can see what this looks like. There we go. So now we've got three-dimensional shutters that things aren't smeared out on us. Oh, missed one side. So you can see there, it projected it back through on the other side. I'll just grab that and I'll just paint that. There we go. And we now have a three-dimensional shutter. Now, on the top side here, and I know, this is stuff that I wasn't going to cover until next week, but dang it, I like this. So I can come in here. Now, on the roofing here, if I take this surface and I say project photo, there's a thing here that says trim partially visible faces. The first time I'm going to hit yes to show you what this does. If I hit yes and I come up here, we get our roofing, and then from there, we've got a little area in here. It couldn't be seen from the ground. So to compensate for that, I'm going to jump over here, and I'm over on my other side. That area may just get covered. So what I'll do is I will select this, 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 and this. Oh, forgot to reverse that face. There we go. So I have these three. I'm going to select them. I'm going to load up this one, and I'm going to right-click, project photo, same thing, trim partially visible faces. The partially visible face is right in here. I wish I could zoom in right there. I'm going to hit yes. So now we've colored that in. Now, because my camera was set to auto exposure, the exposure is different. So it's not going to look quite right here, but it does get us in the vicinity. Now, here's the kicker with this. I don't like the way that looks. It looks, dang it. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to come up here in my materials, and instead of using the photo texture, I'm going to go get a different one. So I'm going to say this is roofing. I like this roofing shingles multi. I'm going to do that. But Chris, it's not brown colored, it's kind of gray colored. Well, all right. Well, we'll just change this one just a touch. It's got a lot of purple in it, doesn't it? Drop my red down. Just a hair. There we go. So it's no longer brown. Mint. All right, and now we used a SketchUp material rather than the SketchUp material here. So something else I could do is I could sample this, place this up there. I don't really feel like it. Okay, next one. If we go to our match photo, what do we want to do here? Do I want to, 9 minutes? I don't know if I can do this. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a roof. Now, this isn't going to be exactly right. Don't shoot me here. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. But we need to draw the roof. The problem is that you're never going to be able to, I guess you could do a rectangle and then cut it. The problem is I've got an obscured face. When I'm looking here, this roof line is midway between here. Now, SketchUp has an inference point along this, or is it right there? It's an end point? That's not right. All right, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to make this one single solid line. There we go. All right, with this one single solid line, we should have an inference point that is the midpoint. There it is, click. So that's my midpoint. So what I'll do is I'll click there. Now what I will do is I'm just going to jump into 3D, and I'm going to connect it over to that side. Next, I have, well, I'm going to need to create a, now this does have soffits. Just bear with me here. I know, but Chris, it's not going to be right. Just go with me. Go with me here. You can close in this back one. Okay, for the roof, now that this roof line, we know it's just single roof here. What I'll do is I'll jump back. Well, I could do it that way. I'll just do it from this side. So this material here, or this face is hiding my way. So I'm just going to hide that. Now I can see my roof line. I'm going to select that peak line. I'm going to hit M to move. I'm going to start here. I'm going to left click. And I'm going to hit the up arrow key on my keyboard. And what that should be doing is then pulling that up And I'm matching the inside of my roof right about there. And this way, when I jump out, I should have, aha, there we go. So now this side needs to be closed in. Not sure why that's there. Yeah, I must not have had that level. Ah, I know what I did. So these two aren't on the same plane. That's what did it. All right, so I'm going to hit this M and move that out on the green axis. Hit Shift. I'm going to put that on that same one. There we go. Let's redo that. I'm going to hit M. Start at that endpoint. Hit the up arrow so that I'm going vertical. I'll just move that right on up so that matches. Set. Now, if I go back into here, looking good. And then from here, I'll just draw a line, and this should, keyword should. Oh, not closing it in. So I've got something that isn't in the right plane here, and I don't know what it is. So in the absence of that. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. It helps if you don't hide geometry, eh? So view, hidden geometry, there we go. Unhide it. Now we're going, oh my goodness, well, we lost our photo projection, or maybe I never did one. Let's come over here, and we'll just take this, and we will project that photo. Now keep in mind, we're going to have some stuff here that isn't going to be right. But we now have that corner of the house. Now we could, because we know this goes up, we could then draw in our landscaping and all that good stuff. All right, one more. Do I want to tackle this one? No, I don't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these, all the things. So if you drag from the bottom left, or I'm sorry, from the bottom right to the top left, that will select everything it touches. Everything the cursor touches will be yours. It allows me to select everything. So I'll click here. I'll maybe project that. I'll put that there, and then I'll right-click Project Photo. I want to override it, yes. And why not? We'll trim it, just in case. Jump out. Now what I didn't do is select these. Let's jump back in. Why didn't I get those? Let's take these, and we'll just project those. There we go. So we have a good start. From here, I would push-pull this outwards to create our soffits and keep working on the roof. But if all I wanted to do was an approximation here, I'm going to sample this. Oh, Control Z, I need to get into the group. So there's our roof. From here, oh, escape. Let's see what this does. I want to see what this looks like. Not terrible. Not terrible. I'll take it. So what I would do is I would go into my photo from the other side and match these, and that should finish them up. I'll take that, delete it. Okay, 1157. Let's see if I can do this. Now I want a georeference. So let's do File. Nah, I don't want to do it. Yeah, there we go. Add location. I'm going to close that. I want to put this. Is that on Quentin? No, Red Gauntlet. That was where I was. There we go. Red Gauntlet. There we go. Where was I? It was right around in. There we go. Now, if only I had a photograph that had the number on it. So we're right there. Looks good. I like it. All right, and then we get to drag our slider here to decide how much of this do we want to get. I'm going to get this. Now, one of the really cool things, I absolutely love this, is that if you want, you can get a 3D mesh. So if there is terrain involved here, up in the top left here, if there is terrain, we can bring that terrain in. Now, this is awfully freaking flat, but you know what? Let's just... Because, well, why not? I mean, let's just go all out here. So I'm going to bring in the satellite imagery, high resolution from Bing. This may take a few minutes to import everything the way I have it set, but I'm going to hit import site context. And the meshes, if we're doing a large area, this... there we go. So it's telling us that the 3D terrain is hidden. I'll hit close. And that'll come up here to my tags. Need geolocation. I can turn on the 3D terrain. And this gives me a 3D terrain mesh. Now, like I said, this is more than just a little bit flat here. So the 3D terrain doesn't help us any. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit M. Now, because my origin point was here, it isn't quite right. So I'm going to move it up. The point where that is now sitting where it's supposed to be. Cool. Now, if I were finishing this out just a little bit more, I would finish my doorway and that kind of stuff. But what I want to show you is how to bring this now into Reveal. So I've got our terrain, we've got our... Nope, that's not right. This house needs to be flipped. Facing the wrong way. I'm going to deselect that, hit M. I'm going to take this. I'm sorry, I'm going to rotate it. There we go. There we go, rotator 180, hit M. I'll just put that house right where she's supposed to be. Beautiful. Now, keep in mind, these satellite photos may not accurately reflect because they have, you see here that it wasn't true orthogonal when it was taken. So building this to what the satellite photo says is pretty dangerous. You model it from the photo, I would trust the photo more than I would trust this satellite photo. Sorry, I would trust my DSLR photo more than what I would trust here, especially since I can't see the back. So, like that. All right. Now, if we don't want to bring this into Reveal, if all we want is the model of the house, what I'll do here is I'll just select all of that, make that go away. Let's see here, this entity info. I need to unlock that and delete it. And then I've also got some 3D terrain here. Looks like I got that as well. Oops, I forgot to move my fence. Whoopsies. There we go. Okay, I've got everything done from here. I'm just going to save this. Save as. I'm going to go a little bit long, guys. Hopefully bear with me here. I'm going to take this into Reveal. So I'm going to throw this on my desktop and I'll say photo house. I'll just put that on my desktop, photohouse.skp. Hit OK. Now, some of you may be asking, what's this orange line? Well, this orange line is the deviation. There is the magnetic, or the difference between true north and magnetic north. So we're not exactly, or our photo, or I shouldn't say that. It is the difference between true north and what our origin is. So if we wanted to reset our origin to true north, we certainly could. I'm just going to leave this as is. Okay, so let's go to Reveal now that I've saved that as an SKP. Just to show you guys what this looks like when we bring it in. All right, so I'm going to go to Draw, Models. This is going to be from a SketchUp file. File on disk, hit Next. hit browse here. And I'll just go to my desktop. Come on, baby. And there's our photohouse.skp. I will hit open. Next, yeah, I'll just use this as Photo House. Because, well, why not? And there we go. So it's asking me which one is the front. This is going to be side 2. Yep, side 2, hit next. And then it's going to ask me which one is the top. I believe that's side 3, hit next. And there's my photo textured model. I'm going to keep everything the same. It's in my custom models. Finish. And now inside of my custom models, what did I say that as? I believe it was Photo House, wasn't it? There it is, Photo House. I want to jump into 3D. There we go. So if I'd have continued on with the photo texturing and all of that good stuff, it would have ended up looking a lot better. Would have removed some of the artifacts here, and some of that is also the anti-aliasing setting I have on Reveal. So anyway, we have got our now photo model textured or photo modeled house, photo modeled structure into Reveal that we're then set to go do other things with it. So if you wanted to import a satellite photo in Reveal and do your actual scene modeling in Reveal by dropping these photo modeled houses, you could certainly do that. Okay, so that was a quick tutorial on photo modeling. Where I find or where I see the value of this is in a scene where, you know what, it just isn't worth bringing the scanner out, or if you don't have a Trimble X7 or Trimble X9 terrestrial laser scanner and you may be, you know, your scanner may be down for calibration because the X7 and X9 don't need to be calibrated. If you don't have one of our instruments and you have it out for calibration, but now you've got this big scene that you have to go work, and you don't have a laser scanner available, this is a very good way to substitute for that, especially if you have UAVs. Being able to fly the neighborhood and take photographs of these houses and then photo model them in. And that works well if your scanner's out for calibration and, you know, calibration for a month or 2 months and you've got this scene, you're not dead in the water, right? You're not just hosed where you can't build a 3D model because your scanner's out for calibration. With leveraging the power of SketchUp, we can just take simple photographs and build a 3-dimensional model of a neighborhood. So hopefully y'all found this useful. And here in week, and I know we're going long, I apologize. Here in not next week, but the week after, this is episode 10. We have one more episode, which will be episode 11. Next week, I go into more of the photo projection and photo placement. So we may work on this one. I promised you guys we would go back to the indoor one we did last week. So we're definitely going to go back to the indoor one. I'm going to show you how to take photographs and then put them onto surfaces using markers. So if we know where the edge of something is, being able to align those edges of the photograph to the edges of the model and be able to do photorealistic modeling. Okay. And again, as you saw, these aren't point clouds, right? You can zoom all the way in on them and they don't get all grainy and gritty. You're not looking at the other side. I really love doing the photo modeling just because it looks so nice. It really does. Adds that great aesthetic. So next week, we're going to do more with photographs, taking photographs into models and projecting them and placing them. So we're going to be doing that next week. After that, we have Open Line Wednesday, where we decide what it is we're going to do. And quite frankly, I don't know what we're going to do. Decisions. So, if you all, as you're watching this over the next 2 weeks, if you're watching this, put a comment in of what you'd like to see on your preferred platform, of course, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. Put a comment in of what you'd like to see, because we got all 12 episodes here, or at least 11 episodes. By next week, we'll have 11. Look back through the episodes. If there's something that triggered, hey, could we apply this in this case? Or could we do something more with this? Hey, we'd like to see you work on our car. If you're a police agency and you want to see your logo, put on a car, maybe that's what we do next week. If we take a department and we put their logo onto a model. I don't know, if you're a department and you're interested in doing that, leave a comment in that you'd like to see your department's logo put in, and we'll reach out, be in touch, get that logo from you, figure out what vehicle you want it to go on, and maybe that'll be your reward for participation in the comments, giving us feedback. That's a possibility. So leave us comments. We love to get comments. So, all right, we're 10 minutes after the hour. I kept you guys 10 minutes long. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Take care.